The following is a fourth-hand production.
Welcome, Beyonders.
How did we get to this weird place? Who are these two crazy guys, and what is going on?
Beyond Terrestrial, or BT for short, is a podcast dedicated to the strange, the macabre, the conspiratorial, and all things supernatural. Hosted by Dan Martson and Lee Ariett, two guys who discovered late-night radio shows like Coast to Coast while working the night shift, and stumbled into a world of fantastic tales and local legends.
We share these stories with our dedicated fans we lovingly call Beyonders every other Tuesday. Join me and Lee as we take a mysterious journey into obscure local tales and spin up some hot takes on the supernatural stories we all know and love.
2 words: interdimensional Bigfoot.
Oh yeah.
What? No!
You suck!
Oh my
Hey everyone, welcome back to What the Suck. This is James.
And this is Chris.
And today's lovely motion picture is 1996 The Dentist, starring Corbin Roger Dorn Bernsen. It is directed by Brian Yuzna, produced by Pierre David, written by Dennis Pilo, Stuart Gordon, and Charles Finch. Took 3 of them to write a horror movie. So yeah, something's wrong there. Starring Corbin Roger Dorn Bernsen and Linda Hoffman. The rest of the motherfuckers don't matter, apparently, because they ain't listed, so fuck them. Music by Alan Howarth. Cinematography by Levi Isaacs. Distributed by Trimark Pictures. Holy shit, really? Release date of October 18th, 1996, with a running time of 92 minutes. Has a budget of $2,600,000. That's not too bad. Rotten Tomato score, though, is hilarious. It has 7 total counts on the Rotten Tomato meter. It's 0%.
Nice. Perfect.
Perfecto. Yep. And a 29% audience score out of 7,958 reviews.
Wow. That's pretty low. That sucks.
That blows.
Yeah, that blows. So let's also take a minute to acknowledge the fact that we have a very, very young, yet still looks the same Mark Ruffalo in this movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Hulk.
he's in it for a grand total of 5 minutes.
The Hulk, he's in there.
He's a talent agent for the Beauty Queen character, but he's in it. He looks the same, even though this movie is 90.
He damn sure does. And he uncredited.
96.
I guess he was still, slobbing producers nuts back then. He wasn't nobody, I guess.
I don't know. I mean, he's, let's see.
Oh, wait a minute.
He's listed down here. So yeah.
They got him listed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so and he's in the title credits in the movie, so yeah.
Well, that's what you get when you get Wiki's description versus fucking Tubi, So
right.
You get a lot more good information on a good old Wiki.
So what's the movie about, James?
Anyway, the synopsis reads as such. I always got to say that because that's just the way it works. Dr. Alan Feinstone, played by Corbin Roger Dorn Bernsen, is a rich and successful Beverly Hills dentist. In fact, he is so much more a fine connoisseur of music, the owner of a palatial mansion, and the proud husband of a beautiful wife. There's only one problem. He's fucking insane, which is a good combination. A dentist and insane at that.
Yeah.
Dr. Feinstone loves perfection, and he expects it of everyone. Unfortunately, no one is perfect. This unacceptable fact annoys the good doctor and leads him to commit his one small imperfection. Murder.
Oh, just a small one.
I like it.
Tiny one.
Murder is so messy, and Dr. Feinstone hates messes. but sometimes he just can't help killing a patient or two.
That's a pretty shitty or pretty ridiculous synopsis on the back of that DVD there.
Well, horror movie, dentist, somebody's getting fucked up. That's just the way it works.
It's yeah. I mean, what's so funny though, that summary has more story than the actual movie itself does.
It does.
It has way more backstory, way more, like, you get none of this in the actual movie itself.
No, you do get a little bit, but not that much.
No,
that's pretty descriptive.
Yeah.
But yeah, once it starts, it's a predictable kind of thing.
Yeah.
The whole thing is predictable.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Paint by numbers.
Yeah, exactly. So that's okay. And just real quickly, the rating system, as everybody knows, we rate movies 1 to 5 turds, 1 being good movies, 5 being shitty movies. If you'd like to hear the descriptions of those turd ratings and what they stand for, listen to a previous episode, because we're not going to do that shit no more.
That's right. It takes too
1 to
long.
5 turds. If you've been listening, you already know.
If you haven't, then go listen to it.
Shame on thou.
Yeah.
Go back and listen.
All right. Well, in that case, let's go ahead and get with the review then.
Let's do it, brother.
Hi there. Is this your first trip to the dentist? You a little scared? No? Good. Give me 5.
Dr. Alan Feinstone's a renowned dentist who's got it all.
Anniversary.
A beautiful wife, a thriving practice, and an impeccable reputation.
I know I'm early.
Couldn't wait, huh?
No more braces, thank God. Built up quite a practice, doctor.
Kay is always busy, so we're always busy.
But behind the success is a man who's feeling the pressure.
The IRS? You got real tax problems. When I tell you to do something, you do it.
We're short-staffed as it is.
Do you dress like that in front of the pool, man?
Would you like to make another appointment?
I had an appointment. You're not wearing anything.
Now, Dr. Feinstone's gone over the edge.
This is my wife! Please, please. Tonight you pay for all that you've done to me.
Maybe we should close up until things are under control.
Things are under control! Everything is under control!
What we've got here is a seriously derailed train. A man over the edge.
Open wide.
Somebody help me!
Hands high!
The dentist.
There now. Better?
Good God, dude.
I know.
Okay. I think I need a shot of Novocaine in the brain. I mean, holy shit. Movie opens up with a dream sequence, and you're like, what's this motherfucker doing?
But is it a dream sequence?
But
we'll find out later.
You do not know this.
We'll find
but
out
anyway,
later.
he's pretending to work on people, and
Yes.
he's talking all stupid, and he doesn't look fucking crazy.
He's trying to sound more like artistic and smart than it actually is.
Negative. Fuck him. All right, well, anyway, there it is.
There it is.
My first one out the way. He comes downstairs, obviously getting ready for work, looks outside, and notices his beautiful hoe.
Yep.
We're going to call her hoe because she's
a
standing
hoe.
out there with a pool boy. So this is an obvious setup to some
Right.
bullshit. Out there, he's on the phone, bitching in his office
Yeah.
and all this stuff. He waves her in and all this stuff. And she comes in, and he notices some nasty-ass fingerprints on her arm.
Right.
And then you look out, and he's covered in the same colored sludge. So she's like, what the fuck's going on here?
So you get no real setup other than automatically you would know that his wife is
it's
cheating,
right into it.
Cheating hoe.
She's not even trying to hide the shit.
There's no indication beforehand that they have a happy marriage. Just automatically, their marriage is not that great because she's cheating on him.
And the thing, and then, she's kind of cute and all that. The pool man is an idiot. And
Yeah.
Corbin is, from an actor's perspective, overqualified to be in a movie like this. But why he did it, I don't know. But he actually, his acting is not so bad. to be honest with you, throughout the movie. It's about the only acting that holds the whole fucking thing together. That and the assistant, but we'll get to that later.
It seems like to me he is overacting and everyone else is underacting.
Well, he's fucking insane. Remember, brother?
No, I mean, just when he's not insane, his normal acting is overacting. He's very exaggerated, and I mean that's fine. It just helps make the other people seem even less good at what they're doing. Like their underacting is being heightened by his overacting.
Yeah, and then she comes out there and he's bitching and hollering because it's his birthday and all this shit. It's her anniversary. Excuse me.
Yeah, anniversary.
Anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
So predictably,
right.
And I even called this when I was watching it, doing my, taking my notes and stuff, that he's going to double back and try to catch them doing some bullshit.
Yeah.
And sure as shit, he stops the car. He drives like 50 yards down the street, pulls over, gets out of the car, goes back, and comes in there and catches, he peeks through the blinds, and he sees them out there getting after it.
Right.
And instead of actually going out and confronting them, he goes into this, this dream sequence where he walks out there in this fucking hilarious sequence. This was well acted, this particular scene. He jams her face down over his dick.
Right, over the pool boy's dick.
And said, here, you want some dick? Here. Yeah. And he's choking her to death on the dick.
Right.
And he puts and then he puts a fucking gun in the guy's face.
Yeah.
You like that? You like getting your
dick? It's my wife, motherfucker, my wife.
Yeah, after he does that, I was sitting there fucking cracking up, and I'm like, holy shit. So he ends up following the dentist to his neighbor's house. He's following the pool boy.
Wait, the dentist is following the pool boy.
The dentist is following the pool boy. He waits for him to leave and follows him to the neighbor's house.
Right.
Or am I jumping sequence?
No, you're right.
I thought it was.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Anyway, he follows him, and he sits there and watches him. Mm-hmm. And naturally, the neighbor lady comes out, and he's like, oh, fuck.
Makes some excuse about being there.
And then there he goes in the house and starts fucking. So he goes in there to try to find out what's going on, just to try to establish this guy's pattern or whatever.
Right.
And here comes this woman's dog. And he discharges his fucking pistol.
And he shoots
the dog. It's a .380. And they're pretty loud for a small pistol, but they're loud enough to where somebody'd hear it, but nobody heard it. Shoots the dog.
Right in the muzzle.
Right in the fucking face. Yeah. And takes up the scene. Yep. Now, problem is, you don't kill the dog. Back to my original hatred of that particular thing in horror movies. You don't kill the fucking dog.
Right. That's rule number one. You don't kill the dog.
Once he's done with that bullshit, he heads on to his dentist's office, and he has this crazed fucking look on his face.
Yeah. By now, so that's another thing too. It's like movie starts off. He's acting like a typical Hollywood dentist doctor. He's taking calls. He's very busy. He's got a wife that he considers it's a trophy wife, but they have a great marriage, whatever. And he's a bit of a neat freak, and so like he doesn't like whenever he ends up having that smudge on his hand from his wife. It freaks him out, and when he sees the pool boy with all the sludge on the ground, he like freaks out. He says, "Clean that shit up, get it fixed today." But other than that, you get no indication that he's insane until he gets to his office
and he starts hearing voices and shit.
And they do like that filter thing where like it's all woozy and shit, and so. But you don't know it. It literally is from one scene to as soon as he gets to the office, he's just full on fucking crazy. He's just insane.
And then that's when we get to his office and finally that's when we're like, hey, Baby Hulk is in here.
Yeah,
he's like a 22-year-old, 23-year-old kid, man.
Fresh face, wearing a sweater over his slung on his back. But yeah, so then you get a little scene with all the different patients, and he's running late because he's too busy trying to catch the pool boy doing his shit.
What fucking cracks me up is his office secretary is the most clueless human in the fucking planet.
Oh my gosh!
Because really when the bodies start piling up. She's completely oblivious to everything that's going on.
Yeah.
She hears screaming and stuff, and she's like, what the fuck? I just wanted to make note of that because she's in the whole movie.
Yeah, she's in the whole movie.
Just sitting there right in the midst of all this mayhem.
Not doing shit. So then he sees his first patient, which is a young boy, which is his first time at the dentist. And he seems okay for a little bit, but then like he just, for no reason, as he's cleaning the boy's teeth, he freaks out again.
Well, like I said, he's all pissed off inside. And then he gets in there and he starts hallucinating. Like when this little kid, he's looking at his teeth and he pictures them completely rotted.
Right.
So he just starts jackhammering this little fuck with a dentist drill. And
Right.
God, I hate that noise. You got to put that in the
Well,
intro.
it wasn't a drill. It was just a pick.
Well, the pick was one thing, but then he says, we got a drill here.
No, that's not
Oh,
the
that's
boy.
right. That's right.
Yeah, he doesn't do the drill with the boy. He does the pick, but he just...
Told you been 3 weeks,
Yeah,
motherfucker.
he's so focused on his own bullshit that he ends up stabbing the boy in the
That's
gums
right.
with it.
It
causes
slips
him to
off,
bleed.
and he cuts his. And the lady's like, "What's wrong with you?"
Yeah.
Kid's all fucked up, drooling in blood. Blah.
So instead of keeping the kid there and having the dentist patch him up, which he could do,
Yes.
stitch him up, patch him up, whatever the fuck he needs to do, make the dentist fix him up. She just grabs the kid, bleeding and everything, and just takes him out of the fucking
And
dentist's
doesn't even
office.
let him correct the mistakes. What's
Right.
wrong with you?
Yeah.
My child. Yeah, well, next time I'll stab him in the eye, bitch.
I'm pretty sure that kid was going to be a serial killer anyway. He looked a little too calm. He had the serial killer look in his eye. But then his next patient is the beauty queen.
The beauty queen.
April Rain.
April Rain, managed by Dr.
Mark
David
Ruffalo.
Banner.
Yeah.
And she gets in the chair. He goes to town, starts doing his thing, starts drilling her teeth, and then he just completely
fucking loses
it.
Again.
He's in there now. He's got the gas on the beauty queen.
Yep.
She's starting to go into oblivion. Then his pills, apparently he took way too fucking many.
Right.
And he starts to hallucinate. And then he pictures the beauty queen as his wife.
Right.
Laying on a chair with what? Titties.
Hanging out.
Of course.
Yep.
You know, TNA, we forgot to mention that at the beginning, too. There was instant TNA.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said, whenever that happens early in a horror movie, there's trouble.
There's a lot of trouble, yeah.
Well, anyway, like I say, he's hallucinating that this woman's his wife.
Right.
So he basically starts to get down there and get busy. And he removes her...
the queen's top.
Yeah.
And then runs his hand down to her skirt and starts taking off her pantyhose.
Yep, but all this whole time, we have to say, he's thinking this is his wife for some reason.
Right.
I guess the laughing gas must be leaking or something.
Something.
Well, during his so-called sexual assault under hallucinogens,
yeah,
he begins to kiss her and starts to make love with her, touch her, and all this stuff, and then remembers his wife is such a freaking hoe,
right,
that he starts to strangle the bitch.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
To the point to where she starts to snap out of her fucking gas.
And he snaps out of it too and realizes that he's not choking his wife, he's choking the beauty queen.
And he's like, oh shit, I
Yeah.
got her drawers down at her ankle, I've got this, I got that, her shirt's unbuttoned.
Yeah.
She's waking up and she's like, what the fuck? And he's scrambling, he's like, holy shit.
He's trying to tell her that the gas had a bad effect on her and it affected her too much. So then he goes and grabs the manager, Mark Ruffalo, and tells him that the gas had a bad effect on her, and so she needs to have some fresh air, so he's able to get him to sneak her out the back.
Yes.
So that nobody sees that he done fucked up.
Out the back. And in the meantime, while that's happening, we got Mr. IRS man comes in the office, starts fucking around.
Yeah, starts telling he's basically blackmailing him, telling him that he's gonna be due for an audit, but that he also wants to get dental work done.
Yeah. So he says, you hook me up, we'll do that.
Yeah.
But what happens is he comes back in pissed off.
Yeah.
Turning green, and starts hollering because he realizes what he did. He smacks old
Kicks the
Roger
shit
Dorn
out
in
of
the
him.
snot.
Yeah, right in the snot. We cut back to the house where the wife is getting ready. He's still at the office because he had called and told her he was running late, so he told her to meet him at his office.
Ah, yes.
So he's at the office. He's getting all these crazy fucking dentist instruments ready to go. She's getting ready at the house, and then she ends up showing up at his office after hours.
And some of this shit is flat out medieval looking. I mean, I know it is like a tooth pulling hammer. If you ever seen those clamps where they have the little pulse thing and you smack, smack, smack until you work it loose. Fuck that. But he does have a pretty snazzy fucking dental office. He's got all these differently themed rooms.
Right. One's a heaven,
to cater
one's a
to his
jungle.
highfalutin clientele or customers or whatever the fuck you call them, patients.
And so she shows up, and they're in, I guess, what's called the classy room with all these fancy curtains and leather chairs and shit, and somehow convinces the dumb bitch to get into a dental chair. It's their anniversary night. She's in a black dress, he's in a tux, but he's like, why don't you sit down and let's do a checkup?
So
she
you go ahead
sits
and have
down.
a seat. And I'm gonna do a little drilling.
Yeah. Not the kind that he was hoping for, though.
No.
But then when she sits down, he proceeds to tie a scarf around her neck and tie her to the chair by her fucking neck.
And then fucking gasses her ass.
Gasses her because he's about to perform some surgery on her.
Oh, yes.
Some unnecessary but yet necessary surgery. And he starts fucking up her mouth.
He yanks out every fucking tooth out of her mouth. Pool boy might like that.
Probably. But like,
No
she
teeth.
looks fucked up.
She looks clown ugly. She looks fucko ugly. I mean, her lips are huge, swollen. Her gums are all sticking out.
Yeah.
And it's actually not that bad of an effect. When
No,
you look at her gums, it looks pretty cool.
Those look pretty good.
She's all fucked up.
So the next day at the house, the police come by to ask him questions about the dog.
See if he'd seen anything.
Right. And in the meantime, he took the time to lay the wife out on a pool chair, cover her face with a big old sun hat. Right. The pool boy's there again. He's doing his job, but he looks over and sees her, but you can't see her face because it's covered. But the police are there asking him questions, and then they leave. And then the pool boy decides to go over to check out his lover, his mamacita. And when he pulls the hat back, it's revealed. You see her face in the full glorious sunlight, and it's all fucked up. And she's reaching for him, and he's all fucking freaked out. And then, bam! Right from behind him, Corbin Burnson shows up with a knife to his throat, and calls him a motherfucker, and then slices his throat, and then proceeds to slice and dice on him multiple times.
Hell yeah! I mean, and I'm gonna tell you what, the blood splatters are pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, he's going full on fucking crazy. So that's his first official murder.
Murder
is but he doesn't even like do any cleanup. He just leaves and goes back to his office.
And that's what's crazy. Just shows him here. And then you leave a blood splattered back porch. Pool man laid out dead. Mm-hmm. You know, and you never see what he does with it.
He throws a murder knife into the pool, and then he takes off. Because he had set an appointment for his nosy-ass neighbor.
I guess the murder knife with the chlorine will kill the fingerprints. Who knows?
So he goes back and she shows up. But then she starts talking about the pool boy. And so that enrages him. And so this is when he like straight up drills into her fucking teeth.
Yes.
Down to the point where there's like no tooth left.
That's right. He destroys an entire molar. He just...
Yeah.
I mean...
And let me just say, the cool thing about this movie, even though it's pretty boring for the most part, the cool thing is there's a couple of different... Whenever he's doing like dental work... They cut away to what's supposed to be an inside shot of their mouth, but obviously they created a large scale version of the person's mouth.
Yep. And
then use that to film, and you can kind of tell that it's not a real, but it looks pretty cool. I mean,
it's not a bad effect.
Really neat.
It's a pretty good practical effect.
I mean, yeah, it's obviously like, especially with the neighbor's mouth, where it's supposed to be fillings and cavities look just like tinfoil.
Yeah.
But it's the tongue that they made. Everything looks really neat because it's very detailed.
It does. And then he commences to basically open a can of whoop ass on that bitch's tooth.
I mean, she drills it. So then, while he's busy drilling the shit out of her tooth, his assistant confronts him and tells him that he's going crazy, and then shows him the pantyhose that she found.
Yep, and says, "What the fuck are you doing in here?"
And that was her big mistake, because he then proceeds to choke the bitch.
He does. He grabs her, and it's a pretty good struggle. But then I'm sitting there going, "There's an office full of people here."
Yeah,
the clueless ass fucking receptionist.
They're not quiet. No,
they're making all kinds of racket. And she's like,
yeah. So he proceeds to choke her with the very same pantyhose.
With the pantyhose.
Yeah. And she's trying to fight back, but she's not able to. So he kills her, stuffs her in a closet.
I mean, his face looks very convincing, and her getting choked out, she did a real good job.
Yeah. So he chokes her, puts her in a closet. The girl with the braces from the day before and the IRS agent show up to get their dental things. The IRS agent goes in, and he shows up right after the dentist had finished packing that bitch into the closet.
He just is casually stashing bodies all over the fucking office. I love it.
And so he walks up, and so he goes in, and he's acting all hotshot and lording his the audit over the dentist's head and just trying to extort him or whatever. And so what does the dentist do? He decides he's had enough of that shit.
This is my favorite part.
Is it really?
Because you know how I feel about the government.
Oh yeah, sure do. Yep.
Well, certain parts of the government,
for the most part, yeah.
One of the parts of the government I had the biggest problem with is the IRS. But he gets to fuck this dude up. He's sick of being pushed by this guy, sick of being bribed by this guy. So he takes this jaw clamp, sticks it in his mouth, and cranks his shit about as far open, and I think he breaks his bottom jaw.
Yeah,
he cranks it open. He's bleeding out. He's torturing him. He starts drilling his ass with no Novocaine and shit, and the guy's in there screaming and hollering. I mean, love it.
It's a full-on mess.
Oh, It's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, that particular part I thought was so brutal, man. I was like, this is good right here.
Yeah.
And then we get to, after he fucks up Mr. IRS, man, we go back to the house. I think we're going back to the house.
Yeah, back to the house because the cops have figured out at this point that the bullet that shot the dog belonged to a certain number of people, and one of the people that
owned the 380, that's right,
is
the
dentist.
forensics.
Yeah.
And then they go to his house and they find blood dripping, and it's a very obvious.
They find the entire crime scene going on.
There's a fucking handprint on the wall, dude.
Which at this point we need to make mention of the fact that one of the detectives is played by Mr. Ken Foree. And for those of you who are or not familiar with Ken Foree, he was in Dawn of the Dead and Devil's Rejects. He's actually quite a well-known actor in the horror community. He's Dawn of the Dead, Devil's Rejects, Lords of Salem. He's been in quite a few, and he's pretty famous, but he's in this low budget piece of shit as well. So then after that, we go back to the dentist's office, and the other assistant has walked in on the dentist fucking up the IRS guy and confronts him, which is a big mistake because then he kills her.
Yep. How did he gets her with the air bubble in the neck?
Yeah.
Which that was a cool effect because it actually showed the bubbles going up her neck.
Right.
And into her brain, and then she just started convulsing and then dead meat.
In the meantime, nobody in the front office has heard this shit because
not a fucking thing.
The receptionist still sends Brace's girl to the back to be seen by the dentist. And she walks back there and she sees the dentist in one room he's just cleaning up. She just missed him cleaning up, so he proceeds to take the braces off. But this is the funny thing. So we get a close up of her face because they're showing the braces and everything. This girl's supposed to be in her teens.
Yeah.
As soon as you get a close up of her face, it's quite obvious that she's about 25, 30.
Well, she's already got some crow's feet happening.
I mean, they got a lot of makeup on this bitch.
Yeah.
She's got crow's feet. She looks older than a teen for sure. She's definitely fucking like 30.
Motherfucker, you look 30.
Motherfucker, you look 30. Yeah, exactly. But then, after she gets the braces off, he starts hallucinating again, and he sees her teeth all rotted and falling out and shit, and so tells her that it's all a waste, that it's for nothing because decay has started to set in. So then he pulls his gun out, and that's not a metaphor. He pulls his fucking pistol out.
Yep.
Points it in her face, but he's hallucinating it's his wife again. The second he points it in her face, she starts screaming. He comes out of it, sees it's the teen.
Yep.
And goes to put it away, but then the teen smacks him in the face with a lamp. And proceeds to take off. So we have this chase scene going down. Again, she's being chased by him through the hall.
And where's the fucking receptionist?
Nobody hears this shit. The receptionist is still at her desk, munching on Oreos, taking calls and shit.
She's clueless as fuck. There's like 8 bodies in the building.
There's a whole fucking Halloween Michael Myers chase scene in the middle of the hallway, and the bitch is not doing anything. She's just sitting there at her desk eating ho-hos.
Michael Myers chase scene.
Yeah.
I love it.
So then,
in other words, she's running like crazy. He's just walking, but he stays right on her ass.
So then the stupidest thing that happens is when he finally catches up with the young bitch, he points the gun at her face. He's about to pull the trigger. She's crying, and at this point, you can definitely tell she's 30 because her crying has messed up all her makeup, and you see her eye drooping and shit. And so, I mean, she's fucking 30. So she says, "I will not eat candy. I will brush my teeth 3 times a day. Please don't kill me." And at that point,
he's like, "You brush 3 times a day, you promise?"
This motherfucker gets a tear in his eye because it's the most beautiful thing this insane motherfucker has heard. Yeah. And he starts repeating 3 times a day, 3 times a day, 3 times a day. And she's like, "Yes, I will brush 3 times a day. Please don't kill me." So then he lets her go, and then he proceeds to just gingerly walk out of the fucking office into his car, turns up his fucking opera music, and heads out. No, they don't know where, but the cops show up at the office. The receptionist is she finally figured out what the fuck is going on. She's crying, freaking out, and then mentions that he kept talking that he won't be able to practice again. He won't be able to teach again. And so the cops are like, "What do you mean teach?" And that's when you realize that he was also a instructor at a dental school.
A dental school instructor, yes.
So it cuts to that, and he's pretty much holding up this whole dental office, this whole class.
Yes.
And he's telling every single fucking dental student to extract every motherfucker's teeth.
Take them out.
Yeah.
Yank them out.
So then the cops show up, and there's this little standoff, and he gets out through the back, and he ends up at this fucking theater where this woman is practicing opera.
And he's sitting there because apparently opera is his thing. And he sits there and marvel.
And he's transfixed, and he's just like out of his mind, and the cops show up and arrest his ass.
Yep.
He didn't kill the opera singer, thankfully. So cops show up, arrest his ass, and then it transitioned to him inside of an insane, crazy asylum, which is where he was at the beginning of the film.
So that's one of those. Here we start at the beginning. We start at the end.
Yeah. So he's in a white padded room, and then they pad him up. They lock him up, and they take him to an office with a dental chair, and they put him in a dental chair, and
he's hallucinating, and it turns out that his toothless wife finally starts to drill on him, and it looks like without any kind of fucking Novocaine or anything. So torture.
And then the last scene is just it's panning out. It pans out.
You're looking up like through a sewer grate.
Yeah. And that's it.
And that's it.
That's the whole
movie's over.
Yeah. Whole movie over.
Now, thinking back on this, the obvious fact here is little kids will probably never see this movie. If they do, you ain't never going to get their ass to go to the dentist.
Yeah, you definitely don't show this to your kids.
Those little motherfuckers will brush their teeth 12 times a day to keep from going to the dentist because every time they go, they're going to see Corbin coming at them with a drill and a jaw clamp. So
or they're going to see his wife with no teeth and worry that that's going to happen to them.
He got no teethers.
Or they're going to see the little kid at the beginning who gets stabbed in the fucking jaw and the gum with a fucking pick.
Nope. Dentist. No, fuck your mom.
Sorry,
I ain't
mama.
going. Nope, I'm running away.
I'm adopted. I'm leaving.
I'm going to go live in a ditch somewhere.
That's right.
I ain't going no dentist.
I'm going to pull all my teeth out myself. So, yeah.
Well, anyway, that being said, what is your review of this movie, my friend?
So, it was... So the acting was okay for the most part. I mean, nobody really put in a bad performance except for the little girl / 30-year-old girl. She was pretty terrible. There wasn't a lot that actually happened, and there was not a setup. You were just kind of thrown into it, and like for everything that happened, nothing happened. And Corbin Burnson was great. Ken Foree was fine. Ruffalo was okay for the 5 minutes he was there. Everybody else was like so-so. But it was just, the idea of a dentist going insane and just drilling people to me is not very scary because, it'd be different if, I don't know, just
it'd be different if your ass was in the chair, fool.
I mean, I look, maybe here's the thing. I have braces, I'm getting them off. I had all 4 wisdom teeth pulled at once.
Me too.
But I didn't go under.
Ooh, no, I did gas.
Nope, I didn't go under. They numbed it, and I was awake for the whole time.
No shit, fuck
and
that.
It took them 30 minutes to pull one tooth out because it was stuck in there so bad.
Mm-hmm.
But I did topical. I did not go under, so I was awake the whole fucking time that happened. So dentists don't scare me.
Yeah,
I've been under the knife. It's fine, whatever, no big deal. It's just it's different. I don't know. The movie just to me just didn't do anything. Like he goes insane and he starts, attacking clients. That's great, but I guess the fact because it happened over the course of literally one fucking day, 2 days. Maybe it was different if it went over the course of I don't know, a couple of weeks or a month, and he randomly just killed a person and then buried the body, and then a week later he killed another person. But because it was so, I guess, fast paced or supposed to be fast paced,
I guess you said it felt rushed.
Yeah, and the kills weren't all that original and all that exciting to me. They were I don't know. I couldn't tell if he was trying to torture people or he was trying to kill them. There was kind of a mixture of both. The practical effects were good. Like I said, the large scale models were good of the people's mouths and stuff. But all in all, I found it to be mostly boring. I'm gonna give it a 4.
You're gonna go 4? Damn.
4. Yeah.
Damn. Yeah. That's a little harsh.
I know. I don't see myself watching it again unless I'll tell friends about it and have them watch it, and I won't watch it unless they really want me to watch it and I have nothing else going on. But for the most part, it was just kind of flatline for me. So, what about you?
Well, my friend, on this one, we are quite on opposite ends of the spectrum.
Okay, let's hear it.
To me, I thought the acting, as far as a horror movie goes, his acting, in my opinion, was actually quite superb for a horror movie. He played a good, convincing psychotic.
All right.
His facial expressions were strong. He actually acted. When he cried, it looked real. I mean, he really pulled it off, in my opinion.
Okay.
I loved the kills, especially IRS, man.
All right.
Especially around this time of year.
Oh, yeah, it's that time.
And the jaw clamps, the blood was excellent. Slashing the pool man apart, the blood splatters. I mean, I thought it was actually well done from a practical perspective.
I agree with that, yeah, for sure.
The predictability was a little bit, when a movie is fairly predictable, which I have a big problem with that. I usually can predict pretty much most stupid shit in a movie.
Okay.
So the predictability factor was kind of high, You pretty much knew it was going to happen almost all the whole time.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
yes, the fact that one little incident, seeing his wife with a pool man, all of a sudden he goes on a killing rampage when obviously he had no previous established pattern, like you said. He just
that we saw
snapped that one fucking day. Yeah, there's no story build up to it.
Right, exactly.
He just decides to go nuts and kill everybody in his fucking office that day.
Yeah.
Except the clueless secretary who mysteriously at some point during the day vanished.
Yeah,
because toward the end when he was chasing the brace girl through the hall and shit, she was gone.
Yeah,
she wasn't there no more.
But then she was there after the police showed up. After
that's
he left.
true.
She was there because she was crying, and she's the one that told him that he teached.
That's right. She says, "I quit. I'm out."
Yeah.
But the story was good.
Okay.
I liked the story. The script was pretty damn decent. Pretty real life-ish. You know, I mean, there have been some inappropriate things happen with doctors who use gas and shit. So it's creepy, but, fairly, convincing. So I am actually giving this one a strong 2 turd.
A 2 turd.
I'm not going to go 1 turd because of how predictable it was, but I'm going to give it 2 because I actually really enjoyed this one. This is one I would watch with a group, drinking game, trash on it. But this is more of a one to make all the gals in the group screech and all that shit with the sound of the drill and all that crap. It's a spine crawler, so.
I think this is the furthest we've ever been apart on a movie.
I think so. Usually we're only apart by a star. A lot of times we agree.
A star? We don't do stars, motherfucker.
Turd.
By a turd. Yeah.
Star.
Yeah, but this is 2, so this is the farthest we've ever been. And we usually are, like I said, we're pretty close. If not, we're succinct on some things. But now we're just like, you liked it.
I think I just enjoyed it a lot more than you did, I guess. Yeah. And you know what? That's all right. That's just how it goes.
And for me, the only reason it didn't get a 5 was because the acting was pretty decent for the most part. And
yeah, I honestly thought you'd go middle of the road on this one.
No, I couldn't give it a 3 because I didn't enjoy it enough.
Okay.
Yeah. So. But, that's great. I love when we have variances of opinion,
Well, you got to.
So why don't you tell the fine folks at home where they can find us?
Well, we are now part and a very proud member of the fourthhand.com media network.
Yes.
You can find us on there along with several other awesome shows.
Great shows.
Great people. You can find us on Facebook, of course, under What the Suck Podcast. And you can find us on Instagram.
Well, where can they find our podcast at?
You can find us on fourthhand.com. You can search us there. We are also on Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher, Castbox. We're still on all the major platforms across the board. And so you can pretty much find us on any one of your favorite podcasting apps.
And we are now on YouTube.
Oh, shit.
You can find the first 20 episodes on YouTube. Just go to YouTube, search What the Suck Podcast, and you will find our episodes available to listen on YouTube.
Just look at us now, getting all big for our britches.
Big for our britches, that's right. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And so where can they go follow you, James, and follow your adventures?
I don't want nobody following my ass.
Okay, good night, folks. Have a good night. We'll see you guys later. Fuck off.
You can find me on Facebook, and probably my friends list is actually filling up quite a lot because I got tons of paranormal peeps and stuff. But
all right, so fuck
you can
Facebook.
Find me on Facebook.
Do the Instagram.
I'm still got room.
Oh,
if you want to follow me on Facebook, I am James E. Bishop III on Facebook, and on Instagram under James Bishop III.
Cool. All right, James. Well, this was a lot of fun as always.
Hell yeah.
I enjoy this stuff. Even the movie sucks, I still enjoy the shit out of it.
Movie didn't suck.
And we will we'll catch you later. This is Chris, and I will see you out the next Suckfest.
And this is James, and if it ain't on What the Suck, it ain't shit.
Peace, motherfucker.
You've been listening to a Fourth Hand Joint.